pretty much been a factor in my life, like my whole life, like low-key from like 2 years old on. My cousin told me he used to blast music around me, like Wu-Tang, and I was just like rap the lyrics, like mumble the lyrics, not even knowing what I was saying, just kind of like mumbling like the cadence of the song. That's how it started. My junior year in high school, I was like, yo, this is like what I want to do. Like, I used to like freestyle with my neighbors. They were like about to graduate high school, and I was like in junior high keeping up with them. And at first I used to want to be like Eminem or like Tyler the Creator. I used to say like wild to get people's attention and just try to come up with the most wildest punchlines and wordplay, trying to be as clever as possible.
Juice WRLD's legacy lives on, and fans couldn't be more excited or emotional about the release of his new album, The Party Never Ends, coming out on November 29th. This isn't just any album, it's said to be his final one, which makes it feel like the end of an era. But here's the thing, there's a lot more to this story than meets the eye, and it's got fans buzzing. It all started when Lil Baby casually posted on Instagram, "The GOAT, we party next week." At first, people weren't sure what he meant, but it didn't take long to connect the dots. He was clearly talking about Juice's long-awaited album. Then Benny, one of Juice's producers, poured his heart out in an Instagram post. He shared how much the music meant to him, especially since the day they recorded one of the tracks ended up being the last time he saw Juice. "I'd trade this song or any song just to have him back," Benny wrote. "Jared, your talent, humor, and spirit were one of a kind. I'm playing this song loud tonight so you can hear it in heaven." Benny also dropped a never-before-seen interview with Juice, which gave fans a closer look at his creative genius. Apparently, Juice recorded an entire song in one go and then casually said, "Run it back and pick the best one." Benny was floored. "I couldn't believe it. I was in the room with a superstar." And let's not forget how much Juice looked up to Eminem. In fact, Eminem is featured on the first song of the album, which feels like a full-circle moment since Juice always said he wanted to be just like him. Eminem even praised Juice for his legendary hour-long freestyle on Westwood, saying that kid was insanely talented. He mastered things it took us years to learn. During Juice WRLD Day, fans, family, and friends got together to celebrate his life and preview the album. It was all going great until Ali Lottie, Juice's ex, went live on Instagram and dropped a bombshell. She said, "Do you really think Juice passed from that? You're wrong. There's so much you don't know." Naturally, this sent fans into detective mode. That's when an old tweet from Juice resurfaced. In 2017, he wrote, "My goal is to become immensely famous, shine for a few years, and then fake my passing." Yeah, you can imagine how wild the theories got after that. Then there's the story of what happened on December 8, 2019. Juice, Ali, and his crew were boarding a private jet to Chicago, and from the start, things felt off. Reports say the pilot smelled something suspicious in the luggage and tipped off the cops. Even so, the flight went ahead as planned. When they landed, authorities searched the plane and found 70 kg of drugs, firearms, and other stuff. Ali later blamed the pilot, saying, "I've lost two of the most important people in my life because of snitches." Imagine this. Juice WRLD is on his way to Chicago, the excitement of his birthday celebration just around the corner. The vibe is calm as the plane gets closer to the airport and everything seems like it's going according to plan. That is, until his security team gets a text that completely changes everything. The message reads, "The airport's filled with cops and FBI dogs now. If that doesn't get your heart racing, I don't know what will." Everything seems normal, but the tension in the air is about to build. As the plane nears Chicago, they finally get phone service again. The security guard immediately drops a message in the group chat, "Cops are here," and they've got a dog panic sets in. Suddenly, what was supposed to be a celebratory arrival feels like anything but. The anticipation, the fear, it's all starting to hit hard, and you can feel the anxiety building. But here's where it takes an even darker turn. Law enforcement later suspected that Juice, feeling the pressure and the weight of the situation, might have been trying to hide some of the items that were on board. According to reports, Juice consumed items that had been stored in Ali Lottie's bag, likely thinking that if he did so, it would keep him from facing any legal trouble. The flight was a private one, rented in his name, which meant that anything illegal on board would be directly linked to him. When the authorities found out what was happening, the situation became very serious. They believed Juice and his team knew that the FBI was waiting for them. What they didn't know was just how much pressure Juice was under. Lawyers later speculated that Juice could have been looking at up to 20 years in federal prison for transporting illegal items across state lines on a private jet, along with carrying 2 unregistered firearms. Imagine the weight of that knowledge on your shoulders, being told the FBI is waiting for you, and the thought that you could lose the next 2 decades of your life. That kind of pressure can break anyone. It's clear now that this kind of stress was too much for Juice to handle. His heart couldn't keep up with the stress, and in that moment of overwhelming panic, Juice sadly passed away. Paramedics arrived on the scene, but despite their best efforts, they couldn't save him. As tragic as this moment was, what followed was even more shocking. The FBI's dogs went through the luggage on the plane and quickly sniffed out the illegal items, leading to arrests on the spot. But why did Juice have all this with him in the first place? The answer was revealed later. Juice had been planning a birthday celebration with family and friends. His videographer, Chris, shared that they were all headed to Chicago that weekend for the party. "We're going to Chicago to celebrate his birthday with his family and friends," he said. "It's heartbreaking to think that something as joyful as a birthday party ended in tragedy." As the news of Juice's passing spread, many in the hip-hop community were quick to react. His close friend, G Herbo, opened up about the loss, saying, "That was my little brother. It's hard to believe he's gone. He's always on my mind." Post Malone, while not as close, shared his respect for Juice, saying he was such a sweet guy. "I'm still shocked by what happened." One of the most touching tributes came from the kid Leroy, who spoke about what he learned from Juice about the music business. "He had this raw emotion in his music. He was the GOAT," Leroy said. Juice had a way of connecting with his emotions that many other artists struggle to tap into, and that's one of the things that made his music so special. In a surprising twist, even Tekashi 6699, who had a long-running beef with Juice, shared a heartfelt tribute. The two had squashed their beef just before Juice's passing, and 6ix999 went on Instagram Live to share the moment Juice reached out to him, saying, "Yo, that video is hilarious. I can't stop watching it." Despite their differences, Juicy's genuine nature and kindness shone through, and 6ix999 respected him for it. Juice WRLD was more than just another rapper. He was an artist in the truest sense of the word. His ability to freestyle entire verses and his unique approach to creating music set him apart. Juice had an endless well of creativity, and his passion for his craft was unmatched. The legacy he leaves behind will continue to influence artists for years to come. His untimely death is a tragic reminder of the pressures that come with fame and how sometimes even the strongest minds can break under that weight. Juice WRLD's legacy will live on, not just through his music, but through the love and respect his friends, family, and fans continue to show in his memory. The pressure was clearly too much for him. His heart started racing, and it all led to the tragic incident outside the airport. Paramedics rushed in to help, but it was too late. Meanwhile, the FBI dogs went through the luggage on the plane and sniffed out the illegal stuff, leading to arrests right there on the spot. But why did Juice have all this with him in the first place? Well, it turns out Juice was flying to Chicago for his birthday celebration. His videographer, Chris, shared that they were planning to celebrate with family and friends. "We're headed to Chicago this weekend to have a party," he said. It's heartbreaking how quickly things turned from excitement to tragedy. As for who's to blame, some have said the aircraft captain could be responsible for Juice's passing. And when TMZ dropped the details, the hip-hop world reacted fast. G Herbo, one of Juicy's closest friends, opened up saying, "That was my little brother. I can't stop thinking about him. He's always on my mind." Even Post Malone, who wasn't super close but admired Juice, said he was such a sweet guy. It's hard to believe he's gone. Then there's the kid Leroy, who learned a lot from Juice's approach to music. He had this raw emotion in his music. He was the GOAT, Leroy shared. Juice helped him understand how to connect with his feelings when creating songs. And get this, Tekashi 6ix999 and Juice had beef for months, but before Juice passed, they made peace. 6ix99 went on Instagram Live and said, "Juice reached out to me and said, 'Yo, that video is hilarious. I can't stop watching it. He was real, and that's why I respected him.'" Juice WRLD was more than just a rapper. He was a true artist. He could freestyle entire verses in a snap, and his creativity was unmatched. Juice was one of a kind, and his legacy will live on in the hearts of his fans and fellow artists.